Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with a Fallout 76 discussion video. I personally believe that the theme of this title has been one step forward, 2 steps back, which may be an improvement to you considering some do think it's 1 step forward, 50 gigantic steps backwards, as Bethesda was stuck amidst the great canvas shortage of 2018. Bugs aplenty, performance issues that needed to be fixed, and the list goes on upon Fallout 76's launch. This theme was once again tossed in my face when the latest entry for Inside the Vault came up on Bethesda's site. Now, if you don't know what Inside the Vault is, it is a weekly article series from Bethesda Game Studios designed to highlight what is new in the Appalachia and what has been changed. In this latest entry of Inside the Vault, I actually noticed some genuine positive changes coming to the game. We understand that sometimes the patch notes themselves aren't enough, and you want to know why we're making certain balance changes or adjustments. Beginning in 2019, patch notes will include some brief thoughts from our developers that hopefully give the community more insight into the changes we're making and why. We're also hard at work on a new mode where you can work together or not without PvP restrictions. We're already having fun playing it at the office, and we're hopeful to roll it out to all of you sometime in the first quarter of the year. More communication and developer insight? Great! A mode removing one of the biggest restrictions of the game that really held it back to being fun and having player encounters be actually tense? Excellent! That's actually listening to gameplay feedback and providing positive changes. So where does this all go wrong? Where does the theme pop up of 1 step forward, which was, I feel, indicated in this article? Where are the 2 steps back, Matty? Let's head to, naturally, the Atomic Shop. I highlighted in a previous video that the prices in this shop were absolutely ludicrous, and the holiday bundles coming to Fallout 76 really highlight exactly what I've been talking about pretty much since this game had launched. We have new additions like the Holidays Emote Bundle, the bundle for Coming to Town, and also a Red Rocket Mega Sign. Now, like I said, the math for the atoms, every 100 is $1, so we're talking $12 for emote bundles, $20, a third of the freaking game for a settlement bundle, and $14 for a god dang sign. Wow. Wow. Reddit user Anderson Austin W had actually bought the holiday emotes, and I wanted to highlight this experience just so everyone can understand the poor value of this emote bundle. So I finally purchased something from the Atomic Shop. I've been scared to purchase things because in Fallout Shelter, the lunchboxes are on sale all the time, so I didn't purchase anything yet for fear of wasting atoms. So the first % off sale happened that I've seen so far, and it's a bundle of 12 holiday emotes for 50% off, originally being 2,400 atoms, so now it's 1,200 atoms. So I said, sure, 12 new emotes, why not? And they're all emotes that are free, exactly the same, except the little icon is changed. Are you serious about this? Now, the good news is there was an update added, which is I ended up submitting a ticket asking if I can return the bundle, and they actually allowed it, and I got my atoms back. So kind of cool that they understood my frustration and were able to refund me my atoms. That's great. However, the fact that Bethesda at its original base value of $24, but now at a discounted $12, is selling you different pictures that come with the same base emotes in the game is actually mind-blowingly greedy.
Ah, the sweet smell of an all-day sucker.
And that's the crossroads that betrays Fallout 76. You see in the Inside the Vault article, developers making steps forward to at least somewhat improve the game. Naturally listed in there was upcoming bug fixes and changes that need to be made to the game, we all know that, but seeing an actual mode like removing PvP restrictions where I can actually have intense encounters with other players, that's something I've always wanted. Seeing more communication and developer insight as to why they decided to add or remove certain things from the game, always good to see so that we can engage in dialogue as a community about what Bethesda Game Studios is actually thinking and not just take our own assumptions from the article. Both those, I think, are good news for the game. But then the greed steps in. Bethesda is like, come on, just spend your money. We're adding things to the game. See, but just, you can buy this stuff, right? Like, it's not a big deal now that we're actually adding stuff that you might care about. What Bethesda doesn't realize they're doing with this crossroad between greed and trying to somehow earn consumer trust back is that people are going to start saying it's too little too late. Bethesda's not changing their ways. And others will clearly say this just indicates what change is actually being made. Sure, there's little tweaks here and there, but the Atomic Shop, which has been a huge point of contingence for folks, still remains the same, still remains insanely overpriced, and there hasn't been anything added to the game to really address the little amount of atoms you earn through raw gameplay. I know some will see this and not be surprised, and some will see this and go, Matty, why do you even care at this point? It's just frustrating. It's downright not okay. I have to say that Anderson Austin did get pretty lucky that he got his Adams refunded. I don't imagine every single person coming in for an Adam refund is actually going to get it from Bethesda. There are so many people who may end up spending real money on this, and they're gonna get totally ripped off.
Sucker.
I think more would be understanding and accepting of what's being added to the Atomic Shop if A, it was at a lower price, and B, if we saw these changes like the new mode being put in first, and then they started adding all their cool little cosmetics and whatnot to the Atomic Shop, because at least then we're getting the game that maybe some had actually wanted in the first place. But instead we're seeing a priority be put on what Bethesda can bring through the door monetarily through this Atomic Shop, and then we'll get to the content later. That's been a big issue with this game. Like I said, one step forward, 2 steps back. I know in all actuality, it's only been a month after launch, and it feels like the longest month of all time. In my opinion, Bethesda has till February, because come February 15th, there's a ton of games coming out, something for everybody. It's one of those types of days where everybody's probably picking up a new game from some genre and they're dropping whatever they were playing in 2018 for their fresh dips into 2019. And that's also not accounting for a huge launch like, well, let's say Kingdom Hearts 3, which will sell like hotcakes. I mean, Disney and Final Fantasy, are you kidding me? Let's go. Point being, Bethesda's on very limited time as far as I am concerned, because all the consumer trust has been diminished and wiped away so fast, and I think Bethesda thinks they have more time than they actually do. I'm not gonna rule out the idea that they don't No Man's Sky this and somehow bounce back years later, but I think sooner rather than later would probably benefit them, wouldn't it? So Bethesda, if you're listening, take this from someone who has adored your games in the past. Focus on the content now. Stop adding stuff to your Atomic Shop because you look ridiculous doing it. Not only because there's so much of a focus on it clearly, but also these prices are egregious. They're out of this world. And actually, I could make a whole video based off what you should spend your $20 on instead of the 2,000 atoms within Fallout 76's Atomic Shop. Wait, hold up. That's actually a really good idea. Prey Digital Deluxe Edition, LA Noire, The Last of Us Remastered, Mortal Kombat XL, Batman Return to Arkham, Danganronpa 1-2 Reload. What, you got a problem? It's $3 more? Look, just take my weeb recommendations. You will thank me later. There has not been a single person who has taken this recommendation and been angry that they actually listened to me. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Dying Light, Darkest Dungeon, and Ratchet & Clank. All these games you can enjoy to your fullest extent, and in fact some of them are so cheap that you can combine a couple of purchases like Dying Light and Mortal Kombat XL and so on, and get multiple games that you can enjoy that are all critically acclaimed instead of microtransactions. Keep that in mind when you consider purchasing this type of stuff. That's what Bethesda needs to consider, not their own world, but the world outside of their microtransactions. If it's $5, you know what? Maybe it's okay, but 20? Incredibly greedy. Anyway, the rant is over. I just had to highlight this theme that keeps popping up with each decision Bethesda makes. I think there was a step forward for the game highlighted in the Inside the Vault article, but this Atomic Shop's gonna bring it back, and then we see other issues cropping up in the past, like for example the canvas bag where it's outside the game, but yet it was at the same time Bethesda was trying to do some bug fixes, some performance fixes, and really get the game on track in a playable state, which I don't know if we can even account for it being a step forward because it's kind of a step backwards that it even launched that way. Like I said, it's just really bad launch, and if Bethesda wants to get on track, they need to start listening to us. No one wants to buy this. If anyone's interested in the game, they want what's in the game right now to actually work. Also, there is this interesting Reddit thread going around titled "Kotaku aren't the only ones blatantly plagiarizing Reddit threads." It's done by every gaming news YouTuber as well. As you'd expect, there's a lot of content creators mentioned here. If you scroll ways down, you'll find myself and Camelworks being called Bethesda haters. Like, I'm not covering this thread in this part of the video to defend myself or blow up anyone's spot who has something to say about me. I don't really care because I know I take a very honest approach to my channel and just tell you guys what I feel on these topics. I think it's very obvious I'm not a Bethesda hater. I know before this, a lot of people who didn't like me thought I was just this Bethesda android who liked everything they did, and now I'm getting called a hater for it when pretty much as soon as I was done with my review, I dropped the game until whenever I felt like coming back. I went straight to the Outer Worlds, straight to Cyberpunk 2077, straight to games that I give a damn about, just like I always have with my channel. Now, I can't speak for every single content creator in this post, but I can speak for one of my closest friends when it comes to this platform, Camelworks. That man put his heart and soul into the latest Fallout 76 video he made, and I truly believe it shows. There is zero blind hatred there. That is a video coming from someone who loves the games that previously came from BGS, and I think you could say the same for my review. I took a lot of extra time to make sure I got it right and I delivered a proper message. We do this because we care. I'd love to see what you all have to think about this in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active, I love you all, peace.